Hello everyone, I'm Normulator and welcome back to our Rise of Sicily campaign. It's great to have you back with us for another episode. I really hope you're enjoying this series just as much as I am. And of course, if you do have any questions or thoughts about this series, do not forget to leave a comment down below. And of course, it would be a great help to me if you would click that like button if you do enjoy the video, and of course subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. So let's jump right in here and get caught up with where we are and where we're going. First things first, as I was getting things ready to film this episode, I did have this pop-up here, and I thought, you know what, this is a pretty important thought just to keep you guys in line with what's going on in the game. So let's start here, and then we'll move on. So the Heraclean Path, Akrai has seen a huge influx of visitors lately, and a reputation for being one of the cities Heracles passed through on his way to Eurystheus, back from Erythea. Though it is impossible to say if he truly passed through the city or not, the stories have flourished lately. This is a prime opportunity to build upon the myth, to honor the hero, and increase the potential commerce in Akrai. So, let's take a look at where we're talking about here. And here we are here. And the two options are to spend some religious power and get some local tax and army movement speed for 10 years. Or we gain religious power by spending money, and we can get morale of armies and omen power for 10 years. So this is kind of an interesting one. I feel like I actually want to spend the money because we have money more than power, which is something I want to get to later in the series, or later in this episode. But we're doing pretty good on money, but we seem to always be lacking power. So I feel like this is probably the better option. Also, you know, that's 10 years. I'm sure within the next 10 years we'll be going to war with Rome. Extra morale is great. We'll be able to take the discipline omen probably leading into those wars, so another 5% on that would also be good. So I feel like this is probably the better deal. So we will hold a small festival in his honor. Let's do it. All right, so that's that. Now, let's take a quick look, before we get into managing some of this stuff, let's just take a look at where we are and where we need to get to. Rome, 48 cohorts, a little bit of a navy, and pretty good manpower. Us, not so much. We have 29 cohorts, which isn't terrible, but certainly not the 48 they have, and we have a major manpower problems. In fact, this cohorts of 29 is a little bit misleading because a lot of those cohorts are folks sitting around waiting to actually fill up. So our manpower is not even going to grow here for quite a while. And we do have these guys here. These are non-loyal folks that decided to get upset with us, and they're just going to roam around and do whatever they want. That's fine. So anyway, yeah, we have some work to do. We're not ready for Rome. Our attempts to get an ally to the north have failed because nobody can stay big enough to actually maintain an alliance with us. So there's not really a whole lot that we can do from that perspective, other than just get ourselves ready to actually fight them. Ultimately, it'd almost be better if they just decided to fight us, and we could stand right here on this hill, on this fort. It's a level 2 fort. Maybe even beef it up even more, and just if we could just ever just beat their armies down, send them into the attrition war, and eat up their manpower, and try to get into a position where we can be advantageous. Something to consider is that we are in a completely different culture group once we head north. The Siciliite that we are here, we got a little bit of work to do out there. But then ultimately as well, heading north, we're going to be just continuously eating up land that is not the proper culture. And so we're not going to want to eat up way too much land at once. It's not like we're going to be able to just take half of Rome and say, haha, it's ours. Because we'll run into serious problems there with unrest and potential civil wars and stuff like that. So, you know, if we could just take a nice chunk, take some good land, get reorganized, and then just keep fighting them away, and then chip away. They're doing some pretty good work up here, and we can't forget just about how capable they are. So we got to get ready. And so how are we going to do that? Let's talk about it. So first things first, we need manpower. We need manpower, and we need it badly. So I'm actually going to take the national manpower strength here. We like research is great. That's fine. We've been doing really well in it. Of course, we're at 6s. Rome's at 3s. So we're doing very well there, and so we don't need to compound that quite so much compared to the fact that we need manpower and we need it bad. One of the things that we do have a problem with is our leader is really quite poor. He has some really bad stats. He's essentially not helping us at all on religious power, and getting us very, very little on anything else. One thought I had, terrible as it may sound, is I did notice that his eldest son is actually pretty good, quite better than his dad. He's still only 13 years old, but when he is of the age, maybe just take a look here about maybe getting him in charge. And the one path to that could potentially be to throw Nicarus here onto a 1K stack of archers with no morale, and then just send him head on to the army and see what happens. Maybe he'll get captured and we can get this kid promoted. The father was really quite good. Agathocles was our original ruler. He was really quite good. We've spent about 20 years under the rule of this guy, and it has been painful. So it would be nice to get to the third heir in the line as quickly as we possibly can. Even the second son's pretty good, TBH. But yeah, this would be nice to get. So that's a thought down the road, because right now we need to do a lot of things, and we need a lot of power to do it. We need to create manpower centers. We do have one manpower center here, as you guys know, and we're creating 48 local manpower here right now. I want to continue to find ways to compound that as best we can. We need to find ways, whatever it takes, to maximize our manpower output. Get this filled up, get our units filled up, make more military units, and then ultimately get a little bit of a buffer on our manpower. As you can see, we're making about 225 total pops, 21 from subjects, 204 from ourselves. I'd like to get that number like well into the 300s as quickly as we can, and really start to break that down. As far as how these numbers are actually calculated, we did on our stream on Twitch. We stream every day of the week, and for like 6, 8, 10 hours. Playing this game a lot lately, and we actually did spend some time and figured out the exact calculations for the math on manpower and how they get to those numbers and the ways that you can optimize them the best. And yeah, so I'm not going to spend 10 minutes breaking it down right now, but be an interesting thing to do maybe a video on in the future, and certainly it's the kind of thing you can learn if you tune in to the videos. To the streams. So economy wise, I want to make sure that I'm not paying for any of this stuff down through here, and maximize our income. Invention wise, there's probably some stuff that we could use in here. Don't get me wrong, if there's anything helping on manpower, I definitely take it. No, it doesn't look like it. But what I'd like to do is save that money to check out our options for moving people around. Let's take a quick look at our general populations here and what we've got for buildings and stuff, and some of this land we just took. We do have a training camp here, and they have 6 freemen. They're not particularly happy. They need to be assimilated to get happy. Might be a good use of our power to get their stuff up there. Expansion, non-Hellenistic. So I think that assimilating is going to make a big difference. Yeah, it takes them all the way to 60. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. Get that happiness level up for these guys. So what you do is you come in here. We've already got the 1 training camp. I'm going to actually bump it up to 2. We do have the option there. And really, it's all going to be about the getting these guys in here and maximizing their output. You can see that their current efficiency is 75.7, average happiness, and of course the capital region bonus. And then we're going to find ways to make those better. So let's go ahead and assimilate all the guys in the city and promote them all as well. And right away, we're starting to produce a lot more manpower. We are running out of horatory power really quickly, but I feel like this is really important. I'm just trying to see what else we have here. Okay. So what I would like to start doing is all the guys in this region, all of the freemen in this region, I'd like to start moving them around to Problem is none of them are the right culture group, and it really drags us down. Okay, so all these guys actually are. This is fantastic. It's good that we looked. These guys are all the right culture group, so we don't actually have to spend any oratory to get them there. It's just the civic to move them. And the name of this place is Calapolis. So let's move all these guys to Calapolis. Like this. Where are you? Boom. Boom. And boom. So, now when you look at this, we actually have 24. And I can actually throw in yet another training camp. So we essentially have 24 guys here. We could do the promotions here, but we have to assimilate as well. Which we don't have enough money for to do all that promotions and assimilating. But we've already, a quick start here to get to 17 is fantastic. And you know what I'm just thinking? We had 4 freemen, and 2 of them are assimilated. Let's promote these guys and move those guys as well. Again, this is all just maneuvers to maximize. We're actually short there. To maximize our manpower. So when we get a tick here, you'll see. But when the calculation is key. You can see there the training camp is you're getting a 10% boost. So the manpower that the freemen are providing is 3,200. Okay, these manpower here, but you get actually the manpower cap of over 4,000, and that comes from the bonuses that we're getting down there through the training camp, exported grain, auxiliary recruitment, blessing of Apollo, all those kinds of things. So we're actually getting our max manpower much higher, and the higher you get that, the more basically the more manpower that this place value or gives you each turn. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and press play and start moving us along. And what I would like to do is what's that? Freeman promotion cost. Okay. I'm just going to start moving some guys around here a little bit. Just get these guys like that. These guys are just whatevers. These guys are heading where? Okay, good supply limit there. That's fine. So again, like I said, the manpower, the mana power that we're getting from our leader is so low that it's frustrating to try and keep up with all the things that need to get done when. Let's see here. These guys are the right things, yes. So, but it's important to do these things because having those manpower centers, having those research centers that really provide you with big chunks of the stuff you need to be successful in the game, I think is a really important strategy. So paying attention to the stuff might not be super exciting, but it's a key thing to do. Just little characters, nothing to worry about there. Military attrition is not much point. You can see here we've jumped up almost more than 10 manpower in the since we did that. Lose manpower? Are you kidding me? We can't afford to lose manpower. We don't have manpower to lose. We're just starting to get some. We cannot afford to anger. This is just local, right? I'm gonna go ahead and take the hit that way. National Freeman Happiness. That's actually really good because I was just about to start looking for ways to get Freeman happier to get the output efficiency higher, and we get this, so that's fantastic. Tribal Proposition. Our tribal labor started investing all the treasury and opening borders between the two nations. Hopefully will prove beneficial for us as well, though their tribesmen are somewhat more unruly than we are used to. Okay. So we get some cash. They gain some opinion of us, a little bit of unrest, and we'll get some local tax as well. They're not giving us a choice, so I guess we got no choice. So again, we're building our training camps here. Assimilate and promote. This is all about getting these guys as happy as possible. You can see here that we got that no contract clause, another 5% happiness from export of fish is 2.5. Let's take a quick look. We do have the option for a trade route. So what would be something that we could do that would give us our population of freemen happy? If we could get wine, our local freeman happiness would be 5% extra. Let's take a quick look at this while we're paused. Wine, precious metals is for citizens. Another honey as well, local freeman output, and is just as important as the happiness. Slave and freeman. So dates as well. So wine, we do have some options, but do we not have? Yeah, we have it. Why don't we just get those? The wine. There you go. Boom. So our trade route is there, and now all of a sudden, when you click on this and click on that, they're up another 5% for the existence of wine. So if we could ever get another trade route in there and get dates in here, every little bit counts. The more the 68% happiness. When you click on the city, like I said, you actually get 68% plus capital region 25, so they're at 86% efficiency. That number determines how big that local manpower number is 172. That 172 is calculated into our total freeman output, and you can see now that we're getting it's plus 19 manpower per. So we're almost up 7 or 8 manpower since we started doing this. It doesn't seem like a lot, right? It doesn't seem like a lot, but every little bit counts. Every month we get a little bit more manpower. We do it some more. We get in 15 or 20 more. Next thing you know, you've made enough difference to get 50 manpower a month. Those are big things. When you're starting at a number in the 200s, another 20, another 30, another 40 is 10, 15, 20%, and you can't snub that in the nose. So let's take a quick look at our options here. Don't really care so much about the popularity. Loyalty doesn't really make a difference either. She would lose a ton of loyalty. But she would be imprisoned, and I don't want to imprison her. So let's just go like partner. Let's take a quick look as well at our characters. We haven't done this in a while, and sometimes you just find one, you're like, oh my god, we're not using that guy. What's going on? So everyone is being used here. Anybody not being used here? We have a 10 there, so potentially. And some 9s. Militarily, researchers. Okay. Let me take a quick look here. He's a 10. He's an 11. Is that guy a... He is a citizen. He doesn't have a job. Okay. So he would be a really good candidate for a third army stack. So let's take a quick look at our government here and see... morale of armies, we're always going to want that to be somebody high. Again, he's just turned 18, actually. He's, geez, be a good ruler. Thought being here is that eventually he would become, a leader of a army. But for right now, it's only one higher, but it's another 10%, to our research speed by throwing him in there, so there's no point in not, right? Always good to make sure you're maximizing your researchers. 13, that's fantastic. So we're good there. And then the government-wise, there's no options to increase any of this. That's going to be 0.04 no matter what, so there's no point in grabbing disloyalty for it. Legitimacy doesn't make a difference. The omen power is a big deal, though. That's great to have that as high as possible. And yeah, I think that's about all that we need to look at. So that's good. Again, the more that we can do to spend this power to increase this number, the better. Up to 24, almost doubled it now. And again, it'll just keep getting better, right? As we get more. We're 3 population away from being able to get yet another training camp. So when you look here, you're actually getting 30% bonus. That 7,400 is getting that much more of a kick from it. Trade wins. Okay, province is getting extra commerce income. That can't hurt. Another child is born. Let's see. For the most part, I think we're in good shape here. They've moved their troops on top of mine for some reason. What's this supply limit in here? It's working okay for now, I guess. Economy-wise, we're making a killing over here. Is there any trade routes that we could do to improve stuff as well? We're going to have to take a look at that as well. I kind of like the idea of just maximizing manpower wherever we can. So what kind of trade goods do we have? We're actually getting wine in here. So these guys... So this area actually has wine. So they actually have... only the one wine? I thought it was two. Must be trading one away, I guess. Okay. Alright. We'll get wine down there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this episode here. I'm going to take a quick look at our trade routes and take a look around here, see what we can do, start managing things. We are starting to get nicely into the plus on manpower. We're still making lots of money. And we're going to just continue to get organized while we try to find a way to be in a position where we can take Rome out. They continue to struggle with this. This is actually down a bit, and their manpower has been down a bit. So these wars have actually been helping us out. Maybe by the one more episode, maybe we're ready to go into war with these guys. I don't want to start it without being ready, because I don't want to put all this progress we've made to shame. So, all right, that's it. I'm going to call it here. Till next episode, thank you very much for the support. I really do appreciate it, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.